Being in an all-year school is strange for a kid. While it's nice to get 3 weeks off for every 9 weeks on, there are some things you end up missing. Not summer vacation, of course, you still get that, just not as much of it. See, with an all-year school, each student got put into one of 4 tracks, which is essentially a rotation of which students were in school and which were not. I was in D track, and all my friends were in A through C track, which meant while I was home alone for 3 weeks, I had no one to play with until school let out. With my older siblings still in school, and both my parents working full-time jobs, this meant little 8-year-old me was stuck at home all alone. This led to a couple of traditions to make sure I was safe and happy at home alone. The Saturday before, my mom and I would buy 5 Lunchables, and we'd rent a game for the next week. Lunchables were easy. Cracker Stackers are a fool's game. Always go for the pizza Lunchables, even if they give you enough sauce for 5 pizzas but only enough toppings for 2. Renting the game was harder. I had a Nintendo 64 and a PlayStation at this time, but this meant I was forced to decide how my next week was going to play out in a very short amount of time with an overwhelming selection of games. The decision would boil down to this: do I rent a game that is new and interesting, but I might not enjoy? Or do I rent something I'd rented before that I knew I enjoyed, but I'd risk getting bored with it? More often than not, I'd choose a third option: rent a game that I didn't enjoy, but think that now I was 2 months older, so I must be better at it, and I'll totally enjoy it this time. This usually ended in a few hours of frustrated gameplay and the rest of the week watching outdated science programs on PBS. Now I'm almost 20 years older, and that much better at video games. And that brings me to a segment I like to call Games I Sucked At. This is the closest you're going to see me do an actual review of a game, as I look at games that I played as a kid and play them now as an adult and find out if they really were as bad as I remember them, or if maybe I just really sucked. And first on the chopping block this week is Bomberman 64. Wow, look at that! And look at this! You want ice? We'll give you ice! You want this weird ruined thing? You got it! Row! And away we go! Introducing the Red Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Blue Ranger, and the super cool Black Ranger. Run on crazy grids, jump on crazy flying white people in Bomberman 64. You know, it's really hard to believe that most of the gameplay will end up looking like this. Now, there is something of a story here. The evil Power Ranger stole the sacred GameCube and used its power of the Game Boy Advance to GameCube Link system to collect the land masses from other worlds. The adorable planet Bomber is next, and it looks like it's up to our strangely adorable arsonist to save the planet. To help in your quest, you have the White Ranger, Sirius, to help you out. And here's where I ran into my first deviation from my childhood memory. You see, when I was younger, I used the Game Shark pretty heavily, and apparently after a certain point in progression, Sirius becomes hostile towards you. If you start the game normally, he's actually a pretty cool dude giving you tips on how to play the game and some background info on how the game's supposed to run. But for whatever reason, I'd play the game as a kid and he'd always be hostile to me, so I'd be missing out on really crucial information. Tutorial shit, such as what the remote bombs were and how to detonate them. I remember crying because I thought I'd broken the game because I was cheating because the bombs wouldn't detonate, and gosh, wouldn't it just be my luck to ruin the game that was supposed to keep me entertained for the next 5 days? This time around, he lets me know all sorts of handy tips right off the bat, except for this one, which he told me about long after it would have been useful. Now, the enemies in this game are varied. You got Totem Pole, Soldier, Butterfly, and of course the bosses where you've got Dragon, Fish, Robot, and Ice Spider. Nope. Now the basic structure of the game is this. Get to the end of each stage. Each world has 4 stages, 2 actual levels, and 2 boss fights. In each level, there's a remote bomb power-up and a super bomb power-up, which I always call the cherry bomb because, come on! Look at it! There are also 5 gold cards in each stage. 3 are hidden in the stage, 1 is awarded for killing 30 enemies, and 1 is awarded for finishing the stage within the target time. There's also a handful of costume pieces for customizing your Bomberman in multiplayer, but those aren't nearly as important since that custom Bomberman can't be used in single-player gameplay. See, this is the part that bugged me. When you go from a 2-dimensional game to a 3-dimensional game, it allows you to move up and down in more freedom. Super Mario 64 did that really well, but Bomberman can't jump like Mario, which means getting to higher platforms requires you to make crazy bomb contraptions called bomb ladders that can explode at a moment's notice. Yes, that's just as confusing in practice as it sounds. Now, most of the game can actually be beaten with a very rudimentary understanding of this principle, but it was not a method that I had mastered until very late in my gameplay, which meant a lot of my gameplay looked like this. Come on. Just get up there. Come on. Get up there. Just get up there. Just get up there. No, get up there. Get up there, you little shit. Come on. Come on. Yes, almost there. Yes. Yeah, come on. Ah, fuck. Come on. Get up there. Get up there. Yes! Oh, mother... After a while, though, I actually started to acclimate to the gameplay. The levels are pretty well designed as far as control and camera goes. The C buttons can rotate the camera 45 degrees, which irritated me as a kid, but I actually appreciate now as an adult. Along with the C buttons, Bomberman can only move in 45-degree increments, which means that he can really only move in 8 directions. This makes throwing bombs and kicking bombs that much easier, as well as traversing walkways. None of this listing left or right crap in other games. The boss fights range from easy to actually still pretty easy. The only issue I had with the bosses was getting their gold cards, as they would often kill themselves before I had a chance to bounce a pumped up bomb on their heads and get that last gold card. Another issue I had was for the end of world bosses, where I'd be required to burn parts of their body, but I'd sometimes kill the boss before I'd gotten a chance to finish burning their body and... Wow, that sounded really messed up, didn't it? Now, I found a neat moment in my playthrough when I stopped looking at the game as an action game, but rather as a puzzle game with action elements, and I had suddenly had fewer issues trying to get places. Like here. Boom, there's an open window. I know how my bombs work, and I know how I only bounce in a straight line. This isn't an action issue, trying to jump into the window like in Super Mario Bros. It would be. It's a puzzle. I'm creating a path, the window. If someone had explained that to me as a little kid, I think I'd have had an easier time wrapping my head around this game. So, after visiting
Hot Top Volcano, Fossil Canyon, Everfrost Peak,
and
Pirate Lagoon,
you destroy the chains holding them in place. But evidently they have Stockholm Syndrome since they stick around anyways. But this unlocks
Smoky Castle,
which is the final level. Or is it? It's not! Altair is the boss of this world, which is great because it has some of the best vocal work in video games to date.
You wanna fight me? My time is over. You pay!
The Blue Ranger takes him away and the game rolls credits. Unless you get all 100 gold cards. Now, since I didn't want to have hours upon hours of gameplay footage to sift through, I did this through the oldest known trick in the book. Cheating! Yes! Now this had some interesting outcomes. The first was that I couldn't actually progress while the Game Shark was turned on. Beating the boss triggered the destroying chain cutscene and locked me out of the real final level. But in the end, I figured it out. In the real ending, Sirius shows up, knocks Altair back down, grabs the mystical GameCube, and Kaiokens the ever-living shit out of Altair. Then he says that he manipulated Bomberman to get him this far and will repay him by blowing up his planet. I don't want to be that guy here, but why bother with that? I mean, Bomberman was trying to get Sirius the GameCube anyways. What does Sirius have to gain by blowing up Bomberman's planet? Why is there a backstab here? Neither of their goals conflict with each other. This couldn't be more fabricated than if a new villain appeared from nowhere to extend the game further. But this does open up Rainbow Land, or whatever. This place is actually pretty devious, as completing the first stage requires you to know how to do a complicated bomb climb. This was where my bomb jumping abilities got tested, and I'm proud to say, I got this covered now. but so many of the gold cards and suit pieces were hidden in weird and really difficult to reach places. Finally got to Sirius, blew him up, then blew him up again, and then saw the credits roll. Again. Overall, I clocked in about 8 hours of footage. 4 for my own amusement, 2 hours for a gameplay recording, and then another 2 hours because this is only my second video, so of course I'm gonna lose all the footage from the first time, right? Overall, I think this game was way too hard for an 8-year-old me. You can't jump, but you're expected to traverse up and down. All of your attacks have an equal chance of killing you, and everything is a one-hit kill unless you get a certain power-up. It's a really unfair challenge to throw at someone so young. So I guess the real question is, do I think I still suck at this game? No, I think I mastered it, along with a handful of other tricks that aren't really required to beat the game. While I don't think I can handle the strict 3-hour on hard mode time limit needed for 100% completion, I can still pretty handily beat the game, and it's actually a lot of fun. Now join us next time as we review the sequel, Bomberman: The Second Attack. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you liked this video, why not share it on Facebook? Well, if you liked the video, then I thank you because subscribe button's right there. Wait, Bomberman 64 The Second Attack costs $150? Oh, hell no! I'll just do a video on like Blaster Master or something. Fuck it.